Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Unibro Nate Reacts. Today we're going to be reacting to another infographic show is White Room Torture, Worst Punishments in the History of Mankind. I don't think that's a punishment. I mean, it can't kill you, can it? I mean, it shows the thing when a man eating white rice. If y'all want to go watch the videos on infographics. Anyway, it's just like a White Room Torture. Anyway, I guess it's a... What's it called? Dang, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, we'll see what it's called, actually.
Except those inside your head. If you wanted to use the bathroom, you had to slip a piece of white paper under the door, then guards wearing padded shoes would shuffle along silently to open the door, and then you could use the white bathroom. And after months of this, you started to forget who you were. The voices in your head became real. You couldn't...
What's with all this white stuff, bro? Why white? Why can't it be like black or blue or green or yellow or red? Why does it have to be white? And they make you wear white clothes. Like, I mean, the man's not white, so I guess the man's like tan, like brown skin. Anyway,
couldn't even remember what your parents looked like. Welcome to the world of white torture. What we just described to you is what sometimes is called an enhanced interrogation technique, and in this case what is referred to as extreme sensory deprivation. The person who suffered it is one Amir Fakhravar, a former prisoner in Iran.
I guess it's torture if they keep you in a room like 24 hours. Mr. Beast doing that, doing a video of him staying in total asylum. It's just like that, total asylum for like 24 hours. These people do it like every day, bro. They don't get no time out. It's like for the worst of the worst people.
His crime was being critical of the Iranian regime. As an activist in the late 90s and early 2000s, he said he was imprisoned and interrogated on a number of occasions. He said that he's been beaten to the extent that his bones were broken, but nothing was as brutal as...
Dang, if he was beaten to the extent his bones was broken, dang, bro, they must really torture you in that bit, bro. Like, whew, I would not want to be in there. I would probably do like millions of push-ups every day just to get to beat them up and stuff, you know.
As white torture. The good news for him is when he got out after spending 8 months in that white room, he managed to flee Iran and move to the USA. He was lucky. Other former regime critics who have had to stay at the notorious Evin prison in Iran have described how some inmates were tortured to death there. Some prisoners have been executed at Evin, others had parts of them amputated, some have been blinded, and most were kept in what has been called horrific conditions.
Bro, what is this stuff? These guys push their eyes out and like takes their arm off and stuff. What is this, bro? What kind of punishment? Worst punishment in the history of mankind. This is one of them. It's not the worst. I don't know if you look it up, classified the worst punishment in the world. I don't know what it would say, to be honest.
Let's stick with Iran for a minute and hear what an Iranian journalist named Ebrahim Nabavi had to say about white torture. In 2004, he got on the phone to Human Rights Watch. This is part of the conversation. Since I left Evin, I've not been able to sleep without sleeping pills. It is terrible. The loneliness never leaves you long after you're free. Every door...
Woman taking pills, bro, like 3 pills? White pills. Why is she taking white pills? Why can't it be red, blue, black, yellow, pink, yellow, orange, red? Has to be white. I mean, I'm white. But she's taking white pills.
Or that's closed on you. This is why we call it white torture. They get what they want without having to hit you. You begin to break, and once you break, they have control, and then you begin to confess. Another former prisoner in one of Iranian's white cells described it like this. After 3 days, it becomes so difficult. Different people break at different times.
Somebody please say something. All you can say is just like, take me home. Oh, take me home. Like, take me home, Jesus, take me home. Like, you'll be a better place than that white. You'll probably be in like a whole yellow world or something. In heaven, you know?
We used to talk about when people would break. Some people broke after a few days, some could last much longer. It is absolute silence. After 3 days, I just wanted any words, even if it was swearing, even if it was a harsh interrogation. In a nutshell, that's what white torture is all about, breaking a person. It's when a government, and as you'll see, not only the Iranian government, wants a person to experience hell, and so
they basically send them to hell in this place and they have no one to talk to. They don't got nothing to do. It's just pure silence, pure white noise. Just nothing. Wait, what's white noise? I don't know. White noise. It's just a wrestler move. Sheamus, he uses it, but I don't know what white noise means. I mean, look at this girl. She looks like scared, like she lost her parents or something.
So they tell them what they want to know. It leaves no bruises, no scars, except for the ones of the psychological kind. Has this ever happened to prisoners housed in the USA? According to human rights organizations, the answer is yes. The New York Times in 2019 talked about the CIA's torture program, the enhanced interrogation techniques that have been used at Guantanamo Bay, and
They give them white rice. I mean, I guess that's healthy. It has iron in it, right? People that eat rice get big. I'm not sure about that. I think people get big when they eat steaks and vegetables and all that.
other black sites, such as a secret prison the CIA had in Thailand. The techniques used included things such as keeping men in stress positions so they couldn't sleep for days, or waterboarding prisoners, or keeping men confined in a small box where they couldn't properly sit. The organization, called European Democratic Lawyers, wrote,
Bro, I would not have them put me in there. I don't care if they could kill me. I'm not gonna stay in like that. They could put a bullet in my head. I would not stand that punishment like that. I mean, if they shoot you, they can go to hell, so why would they... What? So they torture you instead, and then go to hell later. But they can forgive their sins, but...
that interrogatory technicians working at the Guantanamo facility would sometimes take men and cover their eyes and ears. They'd then put thick gloves on the prisoners' hands and tie their feet. This kind of sensory deprivation...
What kind of sus stuff is this? Virtual reality? Virtual reality to death or something? Dude about to die in real life, bro. Look at him. Like, bro, this little animation they got is ridiculous.
was called a kind of white torture, but it sounds more like dark torture. Still, the outcome is the same. The prisoner begins to lose his mind. A similar thing went down at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, and the world got to know about this after a series of photos were released. The U.S. Army would at times dress men in...
They would at times dress men in what? White suits, I would imagine. Anyway, these are some cruel... These are some cruel countries out there, bro. You would not want to get face to face. You would not want to, like, be in that position, you know? I'll probably not last one day in that thing without them putting a bullet in my head.
boiler suits, tie them, put masks over their mouths, and cover their eyes and ears. The result of the torture would always be a numbing of the prisoner's senses, so much so that they began to mentally unravel. But the British were doing a similar thing a long time before it happened in Iraq.
They wrote IRA, Iraq, IRAQ. Oh, he's basically writing Iraq on the building in white? What? They must really like white. I mean, it is white room torture. Everything there is white. I don't know about that, but...
Iraq. In the 70s, people suspected of being involved with the Irish Republican Army were taken from their homes or off the streets without standing trial. They were then taken to a secret interrogation center and were put through something called the 5 techniques. Those were hooding, wall standing, deprivation of sleep, subjection to noise, and deprivation of food and drink. When the
So they basically did not feed you or no one to talk to. They basically left you stranded in that little white room, and then like nothing, like nowhere to. It's just dumb, bro. It's crazy.
men were in their cells, they were handcuffed and hooded, so they were literally in the dark all the time. To make things worse, the British continuously played a recording of a hissing noise, or what's being called a kind of...
Look at this guy. He's literally going crazy. Shut up. I can't take it anymore. Bruh, I probably would not take a day of that shit, bro. Oh, they like jam music. Dang, I could already feel my ears like hurt, and I could imagine that, bro. I can imagine them playing speakers. They put in like earbuds in your ears, turning that shit all the way up. They basically make you deaf on purpose.
white noise. The prisoners might at times get kicked in the groin, having not even knowing someone had entered their cell. This created constant stress and the inability to sleep. What was the object of this sensory deprivation? It was to cause the worst kind of depression, crippling anxiety, and after a while hallucinations and even a loss of consciousness. The Brits used it in the Iraq War too, and imported it to the US, Israel, and Brazil. How did countries get—
Wait, they do that in the U.S.? What? Where at in the U.S.? They don't do it in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. What? Where do they do this? I never heard of that. If you would have heard of it, it would have been on the news or something. I know they got a thing called the White Asylum. It's just like that, but they call it the White Room. I guess they call it a different name in different countries.
get away with this? Well, they say it's not strictly torture and more enhanced interrogation, something human rights groups have been criticizing for years. In Venezuela, the authorities have—
Human rights? You mean torturing rights? You mean torturing them to death, torturing them crazy, torturing them to want to kill themselves? But how can they kill themselves if they don't have any, like, items in there to, like, shank themselves with? If I was in there, bro, I would already kill myself. Like no one to talk to. I mean, it's bad enough just stay in my room. I mean, I'll work out and post YouTube videos and stuff, yeah.
Their own unique take on white torture. Underneath a building in the city of Caracas, there's a place called La Tumba, or the tomb in English. There, prisoners are kept in tiny cells that are painted white. They're not allowed any interaction with guards or other prisoners, and they can hear no sounds. All day and night, a bright light shines in their cell, and so after—
Bro, soon that bright light might be heaven, bro. They might, like, actually die from, like, starvation, no one to talk to. They might go crazy, they might bang their head on the wall, on the ground, and it'll be the end of their life. Like, they're gonna see a white light and it's gonna be a heaven.
After a while, the prisoners have no idea what time it is. Not surprisingly, there are reports of some of them trying to kill themselves. Others might suffer from vomiting, diarrhea, or hallucinations. One mother of an inmate told the media he's buried alive, practically waiting to die. Could you survive white torture? We doubt it.
I could not survive that white torture. I could barely survive being in my room all day. Like, bro, I gotta go outside, I gotta do stuff. That's why school's up, and, like, I'm so happy because I can talk to people. Like, being in that house all day, bro, it's not fun, bro. Like, you gotta get out and you gotta do stuff, you know? Like, my life isn't torture, but this is torture.
We doubt anyone could get through white torture without succumbing to madness. Human Rights Watch spoke to a former inmate of a place called Prison 59 in Iran. That prisoner had seen the isolation cells and had this to say about them. I cannot
imagine spending one night in those solitary cells without losing my mind. I mean, I would imagine. I mean, Mr. Beast lasted 24 hours in it, so you got this, dude. But being in there forever? Nah, no way, dude. No way.
Imagine spending one night in those solitary cells without losing my mind. And it's not just about what happens in the white rooms, but what happens once you get out. As one former detainee in Iran said, I went in as one person and came out another person. Now,
dude went in and came out like a whole freaking ghost, bro. What is he, the spirit of his own life? Anyway, that was the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment and follow. Make sure you do $1 crucifixion, boy alive. Anyway, that's the video. Hope you're alright.